Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. I think I'm going to talk to you about Liechtenstein again. I have been asked ever since I brought up Liechtenstein a few months back. I have been asked by many people to talk about it again. Some of those people are people who hear me tell you that I will see you in Liechtenstein and they don't know what I'm talking about. And others just want me to do a recap and tell about Liechtenstein again. For those of you that don't know, but before I get to that, I wanted to, what you're looking at here, by the way, this is I think it's the Prince's Castle in Liechtenstein. And so anyway, the reason that I got this idea to do this again is from this tweet. At Mark Harridge had tweeted this: Liechtenstein publishes draft of the new Blockchain Act. The new law aims to strengthen the legal certainty for users and service providers in order to further promote the positive development of the token economy in Liechtenstein. And the point of this, and this is their draft of the Blockchain Act. And the purpose, the point of talking about this is there's a reason that Liechtenstein, of all places in the world, is doing this. Liechtenstein has a history of being the place that the wealthiest people in the world go to create foundations and to protect their wealth. It's like a safe haven, and it's partially because there are favorable taxes there, but it's the way I've read this, it's mainly because they help people set up foundations to protect their wealth. So the world's billionaires go to Liechtenstein. But first, I would like to tell you a little bit about Liechtenstein. First of all, Liechtenstein is a constitutional monarchy. It's headed by the Prince of Liechtenstein. Geographically, it's bordered by Switzerland and Austria. It's double landlocked, and so but the border. Another important thing is that the border with Switzerland is an open border. So if you can imagine, you go to Liechtenstein and you're after someone, they can just walk across the border into Switzerland with the snap of a finger and back into Liechtenstein. I'm sure that that's not on accident. Liechtenstein is 62 square miles wide. It's got a population of about 37,000 people. The capital of Liechtenstein is Vaduz. In fact, I think I have someone that goes into my comment section of all my videos and says, I'll see you in Vaduz at some certain hotel in Liechtenstein. But the way that came about, by the way, I did my first Liechtenstein video, and somewhere in that video I said, this looks like a really neat place. Maybe I'll have to go there and have a beer sometime. And that turned into see you in Liechtenstein, and that became a whole thing. And so I still plan to go to Liechtenstein when this all comes about. But anyway, Liechtenstein also has one of the highest gross domestic products per person in the world. It's known in the past as a billionaire tax haven. They are not a member of the European Union, which is, I think that they intentionally keep their financial complete independence. They have more, this is an interesting fact, they have more registered companies than citizens, and that's because of the low taxes. So that should be a model to the world. If you want to attract business, you have low taxes. Lower your taxes, the more businesses you'll have. Liechtenstein has no army, and they have a very low crime rate. Liechtenstein also used to be willing to rent out the entire country for $70,000 a night. And an interesting point of fact is that Snoop Dogg, who was at XRP Community Night, tried to rent the entire country of Liechtenstein to do a music video. and he was turned down. They told him that he gave them late notice, but I'm sure that they didn't. I'm sure that they were worried about what a bunch of gangster rappers would do in terms of the way the country would look. I don't know. Don't know exactly why they turned him down, but it's another interesting thing about Liechtenstein is it's the world's largest producer and exporter of false teeth, which is a random fact. And I mentioned before that they have open borders with Switzerland. But probably the most important thing to know about Liechtenstein is this, what I mentioned earlier, which is, I don't know if I pulled this up or not. I don't think I did. But the most important thing probably about Liechtenstein, let me see if this was it. No. Okay, I'll go back. Probably the most important thing to know about Liechtenstein is the reason that it attracts the world's wealthy. And I'm going to read you, this is a section about how they help people form foundations. And I want to read this to you so you really understand, because this explains to you, you have to understand, why would Liechtenstein, of all the countries in the world, and the reason I ever even brought this up is because I kept seeing, every time I was trying to find things out about crypto, Liechtenstein kept popping up in article after article, and I'm going to show you some of those. But it kept popping up because Liechtenstein, the people there who have been controlling much of the world's wealth for years and years, probably over 100 years, those people know about the massive amounts of money that are going to crypto, and that's why they jumped on this so fast and why they want to be one of the major centers for blockchain and are becoming that. But this is a section on the formation of foundations from something I read about them. It says, as a civil law country, Liechtenstein does not offer trust, but instead foundations. Liechtenstein foundations are solid asset protection vehicles for the ultra wealthy. The founder of IKEA runs his company's intellectual property rights through his foundation here. Liechtenstein foundations require a surprisingly minimal 30,000 Swiss francs in assets to set up, and are designed for the same purposes as any foundation: preservation of capital, limited liability, and passing wealth to heirs. Most types of foundations are required to be listed in the public register before achieving personhood. However, certain family foundations do not have to be registered, adding one element of privacy. And this is really what the reason that all these people have been drawn to Liechtenstein. I'll read that again, that last part. Most types of foundation are required to be listed in the public register before achieving personhood. However, certain family foundations do not have to be registered, adding one element of privacy. And so that is the secret. And it's not a coincidence that Liechtenstein is so interested in digital assets, because they know that this is going to be one of the probably the largest destination for the world's wealth in probably the last 100 years. They know that this is the first new asset class to hit the world since bonds in 1696 by the Bank of England. They know this. That's what it's about. So let's just go, and I'll take you on a stroll from just some of the things that I kept seeing about Liechtenstein that made me want to look into this country, and then eventually I want to go visit the country. It's got quite the views. But this is what I was reading from: banking and foundations in Liechtenstein, a safe haven, not a tax haven. But then moving along, why tiny Liechtenstein is becoming a crypto powerhouse. What do you mean you've never heard of Liechtenstein? And that's kind of where I was coming from. It recently published a draft version of its National Blockchain Act. Liechtenstein Bank is first to launch its own cryptocurrency, and I'll show you some of these things. But first I wanted to show you this. The Liechtenstein Crypto Assets Exchange, LCX. I've shown you this before, but I've got a lot of new subscribers. This exchange is going to do it all. They're going to have a platform for security tokens and other crypto assets trading. They've formed a joint venture with Binance. We covered this back. This was back in August. And I'll show you something very interesting about this. Binance LCX launches fiat to crypto exchange in Liechtenstein. Well, when this was all going on, you might remember this is a tweet from Bank XRP back in August. LCX announces Liechtenstein Crypto Assets Exchange. August 17th, 2018, LCX is invited to inaugural LCX blockchain session. The first event will be with Changpeng Zhao, the CEO of Binance, and be moderated by Michael Arrington. Well, Michael Arrington opened Arrington XRP Capital. He is a big friend of Ripple and XRP. And then this was tweeted during this period of time. CZ Binance said, LOL, if I posted this photo of my probably just a couple of hours apart from yours. In other words, he and Michael Arrington were apparently staying in the same place when they went to Liechtenstein. And so they were there together in Liechtenstein. And then another picture pops up that same week, and it was with Ethan Beard, who runs Ripple's Spring. Spring is the incubator that is for the purpose of creating other startups that would use XRP. And if you tie all that together in your mind, Spring being an incubator to create blockchain startups, I believe I said at the time, what better place for Spring to go to initiate startups than a country who has more companies than they have citizens because of the tax benefits. So you can only imagine what Ethan Beard was doing over there. And he was with the CEO of Binance, Michael Arrington, and he was also over there with those officials in Liechtenstein and the LCX exchange. Unbelievable. But you just keep seeing Liechtenstein everywhere you look. Here's Liechtenstein's Union Bank AG becomes the first licensed bank to launch its own cryptocurrency. One interesting point that they mention in one of these articles is that this cryptocurrency could be the type thing that could, I never understood why they mentioned that, but they said it could be the type of thing that could compete with XRP, which that always kind of jumped out at me as kind of a strange thing to be brought up, because they're just now launching this cryptocurrency and it's in a little country like that. I didn't understand that. But moving along, then you had this. Bank Frick, which is a Liechtenstein bank, allows direct investments in leading cryptocurrencies. And guess which cryptocurrencies those are? One of them was XRP. So, Liechtenstein is a fascinating place, and I thought that it was worthy of bringing this back up and to the forefront because Liechtenstein is a huge player in this whole crypto game. And I do plan on seeing you in Liechtenstein one day, because I will go there and check that scene out. So that place fascinates me. And I also would like to go to some of these other places to check them out that are also major blockchain hubs, like Zug, Switzerland, and then Malta. I think those are the main three. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe and hit the like button and tell your friends and family that Liechtenstein is ground zero for crypto. And it's an interesting place to look into. Thank you for listening.